Well, it's Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and although I'm obviously on Mahomes Mountain, most of the Mountaineers are resting in the offseason. Thus, we move towards another peak in a new segment named after the most dominant player of this century. We present to you our new segment called King James of the Hill, a.k.a. Mahomes Mountain NBA Edition.
Wild's great introduction as always. Similar parameters, a maximum of 28 players on the mountain, because that's the room for it, just like the Mahomes Mountain. And it is a fluid list. This is not an all-time ranking, obviously, and it is not a definitive, this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is like Mahomes Mountain. It's a rich tapestry of many factors. Because no one could have fallen off, because today is the first edition, give you a little bonus, at the bottom, guys who are, bottom of the valley, just missing out. 3 number 1 picks at 3 different stages of their careers. All are right there and could be on the mountain as early as next week, and maybe were on it as recently as a few weeks ago when we had, our dry runs of, not the mountain, but pardon me, of King of the Hill. All right, bottom row, row 7. These guys all are excellent second options, but if any of them are your first option, you have a very clearly defined ceiling. So the only first options on there right now are Trey and Paolo. And Paolo one day I think could be an excellent first option. Right. He's not quite there yet. And by the way, Orlando's going to be in the playoffs. Good job. Trey's a number 1 option. The Hawks are a little disappointing. But these are all really good players. These are all top 30 players right now in the league. Now to the top 20 guys. And this speaks to how deep the league is. That these guys are, that we have got not quite really in the top 15, but these guys, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, 2 of the best scorers in the league, Jamal Murray, a champion, number 2, Dame trying to be that, De'Aaron Fox, the best player on a team that's going to be, around 50 wins for the 2nd straight year. And then Tyrese Halliburton, who while the Pacers have cooled off a bit, Tyrese Halliburton was putting together a first-team All-NBA caliber season early in the year, now probably maybe more of a second-team All-NBA guy. Still an unbelievable year. All right, now we're in real club superstar territory, Drew. You have, back-to-back 2-time Finals MVPs in Katie and Kawhi, Anthony Davis, who's a champion, Anthony Edwards, who is the best player on a team fighting for a 1 seed, and shout out to Jalen Brunson, who I liked when he was in Dallas. I loved him last year by the end of the year, and now I like him even more. I know obviously he had the scary injury, but he's going to be okay. These guys are all club superstar adjacent. And by the way, shout out to Kawhi for his first healthy season in forever and really being excellent. Okay, so go to row 4. I'm a little conflicted on one of these players, and that player is SGA, because part of me feels like this is too low, because he is having an MVP caliber year. Part of me feels like he's alongside LeBron in his 10 finals, Jimmy Butler in his 2 finals, Steph in his 6 finals appearances, and guys that have real pelts on the wall, and guys that we know are dominant postseason performers. Shai's never been above 500 for his career, for a season, and never been in the playoffs. But, like I said, it's fluid list. All right, now the real cream of the crop. First team All-NBA caliber guys this season. Embiid is hurt, but he's going to be back. Luke is averaging 35 a night, and we're almost numb to it. And Tatum was tough. I'll be honest.
You come around on him, though.
Could be higher.
It's not as it could be higher, but I also, I thought about LeBron in that spot. I thought about Jimmy in that spot. I thought about Steph in that spot.
LeBron.
Well, we can discuss it more in a moment. But yeah, I'm just telling you, I thought about it. As far as who I trust over in the postseason, LeBron or Tatum, or Jimmy or Tatum, that's a tough one. And but Tatum, that's where it is. These guys are all first team All-NBA caliber if they were to play the games. And now to the part people are going to get mad at. So listen, I tried to show Joker's respect by making the spot next to him vacant. I know everyone, just reveal the top row as well, please. I know everyone thinks it's insane to not put Jokic at the top. Yeah. All I can do is be honest. I think Giannis is the best player in the league. I think Jokic, I don't think there's anyone that deserves to be next to Jokic, because I think he's clearly the next best guy. But I think Giannis, I understand last night he has the Achilles scare.
He was writhing in pain.
He is having an underrated, maybe best season of his career caliber performance this year. We can get into that more later. And so there it is. There is the king of the hill. I know Joker fans are going to be mad at me, but listen, second place isn't that bad. That's what people in Drew's been telling me forever about the GOAT debate. It's no problem to be in second place on it. There's first edition king of the hill.
I would love to go off on Jokic, but I know that's Wilds' thing, so I'm going to leave that for you. But Jokic is the best player in the league. I mean, and with all due respect to Giannis, I don't want to act like he's chopped liver, but Jokic is the best player in the league. But I'm going to focus on Jimmy Butler.
I think he should be higher too?
No, I think he's too high.
Oh, my God.
I'm kind of looking at it as regular season right now because it's going to change every week. I get playoff Jimmy. I get big face coffee. I get the funky little hairdo and piercings for the picture day and all that stuff. But Jimmy Butler's too. I would take KD out. And I think it's left to right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're wrong.
I got my sources on your new committee too.
To right.
I would take Steph, SGA, KD, Kawhi, AD, and for all this silliness, Anthony Edwards over Jimmy Butler. Right now, I mean, we're talking about right now playoff, right now regular season. I would put them over Jimmy Butler, so I would pick any of those guys, but I'll throw Edwards. Switch him places with Butler or KD, whoever you want. You can put Butler where Jalen Brunson is. I covered his dad.
Yeah, we know.
But put him where Jalen is and move Jalen down. And I like Jalen. But I would put Donovan Mitchell where Jalen is. I know I'm getting I'm tearing your thing. But I gotta say this before I go.
Oh, we have more.
Wemby! Wemby instead of Trae Young. On the bottom row.
Okay, so by the way, the producers begged Brew to just stick to one. He couldn't do it.
He's not going to do it.
So can I give the listen? I am trying to thread the needle of how they're playing this year, plus what we know and believe about them in the postseason. And I think, despite the fact that they were in the finals again last year,
that's fair.
Jimmy Butler. Can we just show Jimmy Butler since he got to the Heat? It's the last 4 playoffs. So how's the team? Well, they have the second most playoff games, second most playoff wins. How's Jimmy? He's got the second most playoff points, 7th most rebounds, 4th most assists, the most steals, leads the NBA in finals appearances, leads the NBA in conference finals appearances. You want to put Anthony Edwards ahead of him.
That's all postseason. I mean, I'm kind of looking at it. The regular season matters too.
Yes, right, which is why he's not up above Tatum. It's why he's not above Embiid. If it was all postseason, he'd be ahead of Embiid hands down. If it was all regular season, then he'd be lower than even you're saying. Because it's a rich tapestry.
Rich tapestry.
I'm weaving it. It's the same thing I was saying, like, right now, and I know you guys scoffed at it, but I think that, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that if you were told going into a series, starts next week, fully healthy, you can have for this series LeBron or Tatum. That's a real argument in your head, or Steph or Tatum. That is a real question to have, even though we know that Tatum right now is having the better season of those guys. Is that not a question for you?
No.
What?
I want to root for Tatum.
Oh,
he turned the ball over a lot.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was disrespecting Tatum, but you were thinking I was giving him too much respect.
Look, what does the guy need to do?
Tatum?
Yeah, get into a time machine and not turn the ball over?
No, he's got to probably win the championship to get to the next level.
He's got to win the championship.
The spot above him is vacant. Literally nobody's there. It's like being at a game.
No,
like, anybody sitting here? No. Like, can I sit there? No.
You're about to teach. I want to see
It's basically, I just have one full screen.
Okay. It's about
and one pun.
Yeah.
Joker is number 1. The producers made me say this. Stop horsing around.
Okay.
You want me to do a horse?
Yeah.
All right, so I know you're like, when was Joker the most dominant in your view, since we're so big on the playoffs? Last year in the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Crushing, right?
Yeah, I thought you meant when
Just
this
dominating.
Is, yes.
Here he is in the last 20 games. So we got playoff Joker with a little trophy here in the last 20 games. They start to heat up. Basically same points, more rebounds, more assists, same amount of turnovers, which I don't love. field goal percentage is better and his plus-minus is better. So when you saw Joker at the peak of his powers carry the Nuggets to the championship and him winning Finals MVP and even going reluctantly to the parade, in the last 20 games he's been better.
Yeah.
They're undefeated post-All-Star where they decide, you know what? We should probably turn it up a little bit. Let's get the number 1 seed. So, Wolves are going to fall. Thunder are, I think, a half game out of first. They will fall. Denver will be number 1, and everyone's coming around. You're the last. You're the last holdout.
No. I'm not a holdout on this, but the Giannis part I'm going to defend because you're talking about their standing in the Western Conference. I don't know that they're going to finish with a better record than Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee can't be the 1 because neither of them are going to finish ahead of Boston. And your point about how dominant Jokic was in last year's postseason, as great as he was, I don't think he was resoundingly more dominant when Giannis won the title with a 50-piece to close out the finals.
You have a little recency.
Right, and so let me give you the recency of this season. It might be Giannis's best season. And I'm not doing the per 36-minute stuff. I'm doing what they're doing per game.
Sure.
Giannis is average. He's a half point away from his career high in points. He's at his career high in assists. And he's at 62% from the field, his career high by 5 points. I think Giannis is having one of the most underrated or undiscussed great seasons. 31-11-6 on 61% from the field. And I know scoring's up, Brew, but only 3 guys in the league are averaging more than 28 points per game. Giannis, SGA, and Luka. Embiid would as well if he qualified. So when you have...
But does Jokic have a weakness? Defense, he's not great, but it's not really a weakness.
No, and I know you're going to say Giannis. Right, but Giannis has... What Jokic is weakest at, which is defense. I agree. I don't think he's a weak. I don't think it's a weakness. Giannis might be the best in the league at it.
But Giannis can't shoot.
Giannis can't shoot.
And he misses free throws, and he doesn't. He's a good playmaker for what he is, but not close. Joker's a point center.
He doesn't close games. They brought Dame in to close.
I get it, but all of that was the case for Shaquille O'Neal. And there were times when Shaquille O'Neal was still the best player in the league. There was long times of it. When he couldn't shoot, he wasn't the closer, and he's still he's the best player in the league. I'm not trying to disrespect Jokic. I died on that hill already.
You could dump the ball to Shaq, though, at the end of the game and get you a bucket. You can't do that.
You can't do that for Giannis.
And what does he always say?
We saw him win the title.
He wants to give the ball to Dame.
That's fine.
He said it. End of the game, I want you to have the ball.
He was a back-to-back MVP.
He kind of ran from it against
MVP.
Miami last year.
You're right. He hasn't been perfect every time, but the idea that a guy who averages damn near 30 over the last 5 years has won 2
Nick, I don't see how you watch, and again, Giannis is great, but I don't see how you can watch Jokic. This dude does everything.
Yes.
He's a point center.
He's averaging 3 more assists than Giannis. Giannis is the best player in the league.
It's not just the averages. It's the way he plays the game.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.